All right, everybody. Thank you so much for joining us tonight. Hopefully we've got maybe some other people who will join us as we continue on with the presentation tonight. But I think it's time that we get started. And just so you know, we are recording this and we will make this available to be seen after the event here. Great, thank you for joining us. This is the Elite Programming, just your general presentation for the ECNL and ECNL ECRL platforms that we have here at Northwest Elite FC. I am the presenter. My name is Tiffany Milbrett. I am the director of coaching for these platforms. And as you see, it's an amazingly awful weather night for Portland, Oregon. So here we go. I hope this looks like a lot to cover, and it is, but I promise you I will head through this as quickly as possible. There will be a lot of information that you will just have to come back to this because I will not be able to cover everything verbally. However, it is important that you have this information in front of you. You can find this on our website. You can find this on the ECNL and ECNL ECRL websites as well. Just quickly, we want to give you a welcome message from Northwest Elite. Who am I? The DOC Tiffany Milbrett. NWEFC mission statement and core values. A little bit of our leader structure, showing you our player pathway. A big part of our platforming is our whole player piece. Talk a little bit about that. We want to get into the Elite seasonal calendar, talk about what is the ECNL and ECRL platforms, and then give it to you straight up, the ECNL and ECNL fees. So just again, welcome on behalf of everyone here at Northwest Elite. We are striving to create a wonderful experience through the game of soccer. A big part of us is our whole player piece, where we understand we are all athletes and we are driven through the platform of what we can deliver in a youth soccer club, but we also are so much more. And we really want to tap into that in how we develop our young soccer players as well as our young human beings. We are really focused on our diversity, equity, and inclusion through everything we do, and our environment that we create is the most important piece through that. Here I am. My name is Tiffany Milbrett. I am the person delivering the responsibility of my role. What is that? It's the ECNL and ECNL ECRL Director of Coaching. Essentially, I am one of the ones that is the driver of our vision, our direction, our identity within our local marketplace, regionally and nationally. A few of my key functions are helping us provide a player or provide the players an environment where they can be challenged, learn, and excel. We want them to achieve their potential. We also need to continue to provide an environment and a platform where they are growing. You don't come into a youth soccer platform without wanting growth in our players. And also I assist in the growth of our staff, educating our parents. Basically, we are setting the direction of what our programming is all about through what we want to achieve through the game of soccer. Big part of me is building and changing the attitudes for female players and athletes. Obviously, we believe in full respect, and that is a huge piece to what we do. And also at the end of the day, we want to be a professional source that is trusted for advice, feedback, and direction on youth soccer players. My journey so far, just a little bit about me. I've had many years in the game. Obviously, I'm a local product, grew up in Hillsboro, Oregon, went to University of Portland, played various countries and 3 different World Cups, 2 Olympics for our full national team. Played many years pro, amateur, ODP, semi-pro, anything you can name. I have done it through the game as a player. Then after hanging up my boots, becoming immersed into the game as a coach, staff, and as a director through the game in youth soccer clubs. I've been to quite a few different places, but and coached multiple different levels and age ranges. So it's been a really fascinating journey for me so far. So continuing on, that was a little bit about me. Continuing on, who is Northwest Elite FC and why do we exist? Biggest piece here is we exist to elevate the game of soccer through the development of the whole player, through the human side, through the ups and downs. We want to be the full support and one-stop shop where our player develops not only as a player, but as a human being as well. A couple of our core values: development and growth, commitment and innovation, and class and integrity. Here's a bit of our leadership structure. Obviously, we are very internally organized. We've got our board of directors, our executive director, Linus Rode, and then we've got all the other pieces right underneath him. I'm one of the directors there. We've got college recruiting, our operations, and administrative. We've got our goalkeeper, academy directors, and future stars director, as well as all these other arms to what it means to exist as a youth soccer club: your social media, your apparel, video of gaming, your travel, and then athletic trainer and medical. Here's a bit about what we can offer internally through our club platforms and programming. We have U5s to U7s, U8s to U10, U11 to U12, U13 to U14, U15 to U16, U17 to U19. We obviously, on the horizon is our U23 to pro, ultimately sending those players on into pro and beyond, college as well in that. So, and within that, we have a competitive and elite programming, and then we have our select programming, which is for the player that really just wants to enjoy themselves in a much lighter manner. So whole player programming, again, everything that we believe a young player is. It's a community leader, they're a student, and we really, really care about helping them build character. At the end of the day, we know we're successful when we believe our young players will be successful as human beings in life. Because at the end of the day, whether you go on to higher levels or whether your game is on the shorter side, what is left is everything that we must do as a human being. Really important to us. Just want to give you guys a quick little heads up here about the elite club calendar, which is ECNL and ECNL ECRL. We're going to start here with 2022 pretty currently. We go May 2nd and 3rd is our tryouts. And I will just give you guys a little taste of this while I'll let you read some of this. We are finishing out our season. Our season really starts, the competitive season really starts for games and everything, starts in the January window. So we go all spring, ending with, as you can see there, extra surf cap, Starfire tournaments, Crossfire challenges. So those extra showcases that we are part of. We will have a break in the July through August window. We will see our players off to high school in that fall window, and then November 10th and beyond. It's not just a firm date, but for the most part, that's when our high school players return to us and return to the programming that has been the younger players and the non-high school ages. So that's when we really get our next season started, is jumping off after and starting programming after high school. We have a club holiday as well in there in January or in the December window. Moving on to 2023, we get started again in January through June is really the main bulk of our season for both ECNL and RL, league play, showcases, travel, OYSA, all of that. There's our typical club breaks, gives you an idea that we do have an eye for rest and recovery and downtime, and most certainly time away from the soccer field to live a full life as well. Moving in away from our club stuff into what you guys are really here for is our programming. We have ECNL. ECNL is right here. Ultimately, ECNL is the premier platform for players that are serious about Division 1, 2, and 3 college, pro, USA, other international, youth national teams. So this is really the premier platform where players really want to take their game to the highest level. This is the Tier 1 program in our club. That is the top 1 to 18 to 20 players in each team. This is the core values from the ECNL League themselves. This is everything that they strive to be. They are innovative. They respect for diversity, style, system, instructor. They want opportunities created for our players. They care about the development of, again, the environment and the person. And excellence is a high standard, just as we have internally as well. Here is the overall view of what the ECNL competition, club competition entails. It is a national league. This is, you're looking at the national map. There are 115 clubs across the country in the ECNL competition. We have 9 conferences, and there's over 748 teams in this top tier platform. What you see in yellow encircled is our Northwest Division Conference. We've got the old name of Crossfire United. We are not. We are Northwest Elite FC. That is us. These are the 23 clubs that we have in our conference that we can play against. We don't play against every single one of these every year, but we alternate. But our ECNL platform, we are harbored in this Northwest Conference. The ECNL competition platform, like I just showed you, is the proven pathway for skill development, preparation for college, youth national teams, and beyond, right? So we have our regional conferences, the tiered levels of national competition, meaning we will play against teams outside of our Northwest Conference. We've got the national events again that will give us an opportunity to compete once again against teams from the East Coast, from Texas, from Colorado, from New York, all of these other, from Florida. So all of these teams that are across the country, we get to also compete against as well. Northwest Elite FC, obviously this is, we have from our ECNL teams are from U13 to, I'm just gonna get rid of, hang on, I gotta get rid of this top. Oops. Northwest Elite FC. Sorry, having a little bit of a hiccup here. These are the teams from U13 to U19. These are our top teams and our tier 1 teams in our league. Obviously, we professional coaching, obviously the competition in a competitive national league. We need to give them the tools to succeed at the highest level of the game. We build that through the years. ECNL has a scouting and identification program. When you compete in these leagues and national competitions, they are then identified for collegiate placements, USA, youth, and full national teams. We are proud to say that we have had so many players from Northwest Elite move on to play collegiately and professionally, and through our youth national teams as well. So our pre-ECNL, so this is the years before you get into U13. So we have our U11 and U12 teams, and this is a big deal. This is the pre big time that we get. We get this opportunity to expose our young players to everything that we're doing at the highest levels and the older age groups. So obviously still the same elite coaching, top level competition. These are the players that really have those early seeds planted for college and beyond. We are developing them for the next layers of the game as they get older and older. Obviously bringing a like-minded group, competitive, dedicated, and enthusiastic soccer players. You achieve more, you grow more. It's science, so obviously we want to have a collective environment for those players to be together. Obviously the relationships and the connections, and then the training environment that is so important for development. 95% of a player's development happens in the training piece of their journey. ECNL training and game structure. Obviously, like we talked about, we've got 2 different blocks in the season. That fall part when they come, well, the fall part, if you are U14 and below, starts earlier on. If you are high school age, obviously you'll start after the high school season. We train 3 to 4 times a week, including the weekends if we don't have a league game or a travel weekend or a showcase. We train at multiple facilities. Obviously, we do not have our standalone private facilities, so we are under the auspices of everyone fighting for field space. Our games are 16 to 22 games, league games, from January to June. And like I said, our Northwest Conference is Oregon, Washington, Idaho, California, Colorado, and Utah. We have a home and away series with most of these teams. Sometimes they just have a home or we just have an away. National showcases, depending on the age group, we do 1 to 3 ECNL, but we also round it out with various other showcases that we target. Right, you see here, U13, U14, U15, U16, 17, 18, those are the duration of the game. So the U13 is a 70-minute game. 14s, 15s, 16s is an 80-minute game. 17s and 18, 19 is a 90-minute game. Here's a quick look at the national events that we can put in to attend. We do not attend all of these. Like I said, our younger age groups are just, you go to 1 national event. There's that middle tier of teams, 16s and 17s, that you go to 3. 15s, I think you go to 2. And your oldest age group, 18, 19s, you go to 1. We can also, if you see here, U12s have their standalone options as well. And I really, really encourage that we send our U12s to at least one of these. Moving on to our tier 2 in our programming, which is called our ECNL Regional League. This really exists to expand your player pool. It gives you a much more consistent environment where everything you're doing is tied into the ECNL, and that same level of environment and professionalism, whether you're an ECNL or ECNL RL. We want to facilitate more club connectivity between the levels of play. What we do at the ECNL level, we will ask our coaches to do at the ECNL RL level, same style of play, all the while helping grow the player pool, because in development, just because a player starts out on an A team at age 11 and 12, soccer is a late development sport. And so we do understand that there will be plenty of players who, coming through those years, will end up on a tier 1 team, and there will be plenty of players that have been on tier 1 teams that may fall out of that level at some point through the years. That's just the science of development. This is our top 19 to 21 to 40 players in each team. For our regional league, obviously depending on the age, depends on how many you keep. A 9v9 team, obviously you're only targeting about 13 players. So don't be fooled by that. That's for our oldest age groups right there. This is the look at the national map for your ECNL regional league. Okay, so what you see here is we have an RL national map that has 13 conferences and over 820 teams. Encircled there in yellow is our ECRL Northwest Conference for our regional league team. And there are 8 clubs in our Northwest Conference. This is a very new structure and a very new product that keeps evolving by the day. So I would expect our Northwest Conference has to evolve along with the product in Texas and in the Cal South areas and the Midwest, the East Coast. So they're a little ahead of us in terms of their league structure, but that is something that we're building out, and we are hopeful that the other clubs really want to build out this regional league in our Northwest division. So we've got the 13 regional leagues, just as you saw visually. Each regional league is structured quite differently because it depends on the amount of teams you have, how close everyone is together, who is a part of the regional league. You don't have to be a ECNL club. You don't have to have that tier 1 piece to programming to be regional league. So there are other clubs that do not have ECNL level platform, but they are in regional league. So obviously each league allows for coordination and collaboration between the teams of different levels within ECNL clubs. So we are fortunate. We have ECNL and we have ECNL RL. So we can really collaborate and coordinate between those levels and really create a nice pool of players and a real, what you would call a real player pool, really develop that real player pool. Opportunities for teams and players and other clubs to develop through this regular high level competition. And also, again, like I said, this is your tier 2 that is connected to the ECNL, and we can really benefit off of that. There is also a postseason for the regional league, which is in conjunction with the postseason for the ECNL tier 1 platform. Here we have in our Northwest division, we have our regional league teams are designated as U15 to U19. Right now, we are having those teams at the older age groups, a part of our tier 2 regional leagues. Obviously, again, like I described, we're servicing a deeper player pool. We want those players to experience higher level competition outside of state leagues. Obviously, if you're a part of the ECNL product, there's always increased exposure to college scouts, to other, your tier 1 coaches, the training. So it's just a platform for us to be connected, to be able to continually evaluate the growth and development of players as well. And we are absolutely excited to be able to offer a complete range of programming that will serve multiple and many players' needs for their journey. We also have the pre-ECNL, pre-ECNL RL, which is our U11 to U14. So this is just that foundational piece to those players in these age ranges to gear us up and get ready for the full ECNL platform. They are connected. It's just the age range is called pre-ECNL RL in our Northwest Conference because those other clubs do not want to compete when we hold those events, but we will send these players and these teams down to showcases as ECNL RL. So hopefully that makes a little sense where Northwest wise, this is that different designation, but if we go to that showcase, we will be ECNL RL U13s, U14s, and that will be our designation. So again, this is still that same pathway of ECNL RL, that tier 2 of players. It's just this is that younger age group that we are continuing to build to make ECNL and to continue to grow into our oldest age groups of ECNL RL and ECNL. So here is, it looks similar to the structure of what we're doing for ECNL. Obviously, it's the same training focus, the 2 different blocks in the season, 3 to 4 times a week, those multiple facilities. We do play OSA league play, we do play state cup, and we do have additional elite league play, USYS champions conference, but we must qualify. We also have our 3 ECRL game event weekends that take place sometime in August, sometime over November, December, and then sometime in May with the other Oregon and the Washington teams. Then we go down to the national showcase, and we are also a part of various other showcases nationally. So here is the regional league national showcase. We just got back from the ECNL Arizona, so that April 1 to 3 with our 05s and our 06s, and it was just absolute a fabulous time. So here is a little bit of the playoffs. This is not going to be explained to you quickly, and I will not take I will not take your time to explain this, but all this is it's just showing you the age group, and June 22nd, this is going to be in Seattle. So June 22nd through 27th, we've got the group play. This is for ECNL Champions League. We've got the knockout play, which means that you're going to have 3 games over 4 days in any case. ECRL, North America Cup, Showcase Cup. The Champions League is your highest playoff platform. Then it goes, the North America Cup is the second highest, then it's the Showcase Cup, and that's for ECNL. And then they held a separate event in conjunction at the same time for the only platform for ECRL, so ECNL RL playoffs. Then you go into June 22nd to 29. You've got knockout play with that top level of ECNL playoffs, which is the Champions League. Then you are into your final days and games with your ECRL, your North America Cup, and your Showcase Cup brackets for ECNL and ECNL RL. Then July 8th to 11th, if you come out of the Seattle trip, you've earned, as your number 1 in your group, you've earned a trip to go to the semifinals and finals, and that will take place on the East Coast. But that is only for the age groups in that top tier of ECNL Champions League. So again, that's really confusing, I understand, but that's the best way that I can describe that. Here is a big picture. At the end of the day, we travel. When we travel, the primary purpose of travel is soccer development. This is the elite level that you're a part of. Of course, we want our players to have a good time. Of course, we want to do some light excursions if we can. But at the end of the day, we need to be ready to perform on the soccer field. This is why we are traveling at this level. We are professional. Obviously, we conduct ourselves as an elite soccer organization. We have itinerary that is scripted out for every hour of every day that we are on the ground, from takeoff to arrival back home. We are a team travel club. We will travel as a team together. the club organizes the transportation, the lodging, and the chaperones for any event that requires travel. There's one caveat here is that we've had, some of the challenge of what COVID presented. So there was a little, we did have some alterations to how we traveled because of that. But for the most part, when we, even through that, we still traveled as a team. And we also have very strict guidelines. All aspects are carefully checked, and safety guidelines are extremely adhered to. So let's go into this. This is on the website as well, so I don't need to go into this too extensive. You will need to get your eyeballs on this. This is pre-ECNL and ECNL fees. So go into northwestelitefc.org, go to the programming piece, click on the pre-ECNL and ECNL, and it'll give you these fees here. So U11, U12, pre-ECNL, $1,600. ECNL U13 to U19, $2,500. This is what you get. This is also a part of the cost that you can expect. The travel costs are on top of the club fees that I just had in the previous screen. So we do a summer showcase, ECNL national showcases, ECNL conference travel, and there's 1 to 2 out of state. We do pre-ECNL showcase event, probably one of those, but we also do showcases that are not pre-ECNL related, like Surf Cup, Las Vegas, those kinds of things. 3 Seattle weekends that we go and travel to. So this is giving you an idea of our travel costs as well. So for that first slide, here is, again, this is all on the website. This is what you get for being a part of an ECNL member through through that fee that you had on that first slide. You get the whole player programming, you get ECNL league play, college recruiting, training, and you get those additional pieces to everything that fills in what is on our day-to-day piece to being in ECNL. Costs not included, obviously your personal travel and incidental, the showcase, the league travel, the national playoffs and postseason expenses, futsal leagues, and then your uniform. Similar to pre-ECNL and ECNL, here is the same delivered here or to you. It looks very similar. Obviously, U11 to U12 is $1,600 for our ECNL Regional League, and the U13, U19 is $2,200. So, but again, these are also on the website here. So you have your leagues and showcase travel.
2,500. No.
Oh, you have your, I can hear maybe Darren Holsey. Can we mute, please? Can we mute, please, guys? Thank you. You've got obviously the showcase events, your league travel showcases here, and then your summer showcase. So again, this is all on that website. Here you have the same, you guys, ECNL ECRL in our platform. Tier 1 and tier 2, you get the same. Yes, there'll be difference in the league structure, but you also are in the OYSA league as well. So a whole player programming, your league play, college recruiting, your training, and the additional piece. As with ECNL, here is the same thing, cost not included, all these same pieces that are extra to be involved with ECNL RL. As always, there is financial assistance available. Again, please go on to the website. Jill Arzi is the one that you would contact for financial assistance. There's also, we are highly encourage fundraising at each team level, obviously to assist with the cost of being a part of a national, regional, and travel program. So that's it from me. What I would like to do here, I don't want to take too much more of your time, but if there is anything that you would like to know about, why don't we put it in the chat bubble instead of having everyone turn potentially their mics on and all of that. Let's keep that silent. Please give me, yeah, so let's just go. Saying meeting at capacity. Okay, so got that fixed. All right, that's an old message. So I'll just give you guys a couple minutes here. If you have a question for me, let us. Yeah, coaching assignments are going to go out probably within the next week. We are still organizing stuff internally. And that is absolutely not one of the things that we are prepared to talk about tonight, but keep your eyeballs out. It's coming. There is coming. Tryout times. What are the roster sizes? Roster sizes for pre-ECNL, because they're 9v9, are going to be, I think, max 13. Either 13 or 14. I don't want to misrepresent something, but it's not an 18-player roster. ECNL and RL, hang on. Practice at the same place, not necessarily. ECNL and RL teams not necessarily will practice at the same time and place. We are going to do everything we can for our programming, but we'd love to have utopia where we have ample space, our own space, plenty of fields, but we are under the mercy of what we have to do based on what we're given and assign, as well as we have our extensive competitive platform that needs space as well. Tryouts are going to be put on the website by, I believe, tomorrow. Tryouts work. You'll see the time slot. You come out for the time slot that is your age group, your birth year, and we take it from there. I think you will pre-sign up for the tryout piece, and have a look at where your age range is. Maybe you designate if you want to try out for ECNL, ECRL. And I think that's probably the only thing. Tryout times for the different age groups on May 2nd and 3rd. I do know that, but that will be on the website by tomorrow, I believe, at latest. So Jill, if you can type in, but just keep looking on the website for that. That is coming out like ASAP. Okay, can you touch on? Yep, keeper training. We are having that 2 to 3 times a week. Again, it depends on the field space. We just hired a new goalkeeper director and one of our elite programming goalkeeper coaches. So they are working on really crafting the programming needs for our elite keepers. So typically they will have standalone nights where it's just goalkeeper training. And then they will have also, oftentimes they will have where they take the goalkeeper for about 30 minutes and then the goalkeeper goes to their team to finish out training. Again, dates and times for the tryouts are May 2nd and 3rd. Please look at your specific slot when they are put up on the website. That will give you the time for the 05 ECNL RL. If you try out for ECNL and you don't make it, we will assess you for the next level that we believe you are in our player pool. So yes, you could be placed and invited onto ECRL. Obviously, if that's where you fall in that tier 2 of category, for sure. At what point do you try out? If you're in U11, is this in May or yes? So anyone that is a birth year of, that's a good question. So U13s is going to be 2010s. Birth year 2011 is U12, and birth year 2012 is U11. So if you are a birth year of just below that, then yes, you would try out for the pre-ECNL or pre-ECRL this May. What is the pathway until U13? Until U13 is that pre-ECRL. So it's that 9v9 game. When you get into U13, it changes into that 11v11 game. So it is all that programming that we have leading into going into U13, which is 11v11 game. Roster size for U15, we want 18 players. How much does it cost? I just went through all of that. You have to please look on the website for that. Obviously, that is northwestelite.org. Go underneath the tab of programming and look underneath the ECNL or pre-ECNL or ECRL or pre-ECNL RL, and you'll be able to find how much the fees and everything is right on there. Players will be told in a very short period of time. So given the short when fees are due and try, yeah, absolutely. So once we know, if right straight away on May 2nd, you could be given an invite. On May 3rd, you could be given an invite. So we are, once we know where a player places, and we will be able to give them that invite very quickly. Roster sizes, it's based on age. Like I said, the 9v9 is a 13 or 14 player max. You could do 18 at U13s and higher. Maybe it's some teams could be 16 if you're U13 or U14, but U15 and older is most certainly an 18 player roster for both ECNL and ECRL teams. Oh, well, ECNL team has been playing short. Well, we will choose players, 18 players right from the start. I know what you guys have been through, but we will choose 18 players from the start, and that will not happen unless there's injuries and things that were just out of our control. But anything that we can control coming out of tryouts, which is selecting 18 players for U18, U19, we are going to do that. Different teams for pre-ECNL. No, different teams are pre-ECNL U11. That's a different age group. That's a different birth year. U12s cannot play. U11s, they're too old. So both of those teams are separate. There is a pre-ECNL and there is pre-ECNL RL. Yes. Limits on the we haven't really, there is a limit on the pre-ECNL RL teams. So there, theoretically, yes, if you had enough teams or enough quality players in your player pool, there could be two teams of the second tier, but I don't believe that's going to happen this year. ECNL teams and offered on developing. So many players have tried out for the ECNL teams in the past and then offered to be on competitive. Will the gap in developing players trying to break into ECNL level be invested in? Currently, there is no talk or development to the players at the competitive level and how to grow that level. Yeah, listen, my specific target is the elite level. But what I can tell you is that we are creating a multi tier 1 and tier 2 player pool. We would love to have 40 players in that player pool where we can, when players are growing and developing and they are reaching a new level in their game, we would love to be able to move those players. Is ECNL, yes, ECNRL and ECNL is the same tryout. You will have it on the same night, at the same time, at the same complex. It is all based on birth year. So 05 ECNL and ECNL RL will be at the same time on the same field, May 2nd and May 3rd. Yes, you could get invited to a lower team if you are trying out for the ECNL RL and don't make it. Yes, we would then give you an invite into the competitive arena, but for sure. Will the pre-ECNL teams have league games on the weekend similar to competitive teams? Yes, yes, the pre-ECNL teams will have league games on the weekend similar to competitive teams, as well as other opportunities for more games depending on if we have our ECRL event weekends, or if we have a showcase, or if we have State Cup, or if we have OSA league games as well. There are different rules around subbing in ECNL. ECNL subbing is once you leave the field in that half, you cannot go back on. So if you were subbed out in the first half, you cannot go back on until the second half. There are different subbing rules for different leagues. So this is ECNL's rule is you can subbed. Once you're subbed in each of the halves, you cannot go back in that half. If you don't have the right talent, you still have an ECNL team for each age group, correct. We will have whatever the top talent is in our player pool, that is who we will select for our ECNL teams. Oh, well, thank you. How many coaches are there per team? One coach, one head coach per team. Coaches at the competitive level, we are doing the same thing, is we are asking them to help each player reach their potential. If we only have at the U12 level, what will the approach be if you have only enough kids to fill one elite team? Well, we start with our tier 1 team and then decide if we have enough players to be able to fill out our tier 2. So I guess that's some internal discussions based on what we are faced with in reality after tryouts. But we do foresee that we will have no problem filling out an ECNL and ECRL team at our U12 level. I just got blurry, sorry. I think, let me see here, guys. I think that's about it. There's some repeating questions. Yeah. Well, thank you so much for your time, everybody. I'm going to stop my sharing. I'm not blurry anymore, so that's a good thing. I really appreciate your time and attention. And like I said, this was a quick stab at being able to deliver you a lot of information on these platforms and how we will deliver through these platforms from the Northwest Elite perspective. Again, have a great night. Good luck in your journey, and please reach out if you have any questions at all at any time. Thank you. Have a great night.